Hi, everyone. Happy Monday after Father's Day. I hope you all took some time to celebrate the important men in your life, the men that demonstrated to you there's really only one great quality to being a father, and that's showing up. I may do a different podcast on that down the road as well. Hi, I'm Dr. Jeff LaCure. This is your wake up call. And I got a thought-provoking one for you today. A lot of you did comment, not enough of you, but a lot of you commented on really kind of how I blew the myth of sort of the mindset out there of what is indeed transgendered and really what's going on. And I will tell you next week, I'm going to do one on the myth of Pride Month, believe it or not. And I'll leave that for you to mull over for an entire week. But there's some interesting things going on when we give anything its own month, its own day, its own week, its own flag. Pride Month, interesting. And speaking of pride, I've been thinking about this one for a long time. And today's wake-up call really just should be called stop, or cut it out, or you got to raise your expectations. Stop celebrating mediocrity. Here's what I mean. It's graduation season, college graduation and high school graduation. But so typical in our country, we got to expand it out. We got kindergarten graduation. We actually have kindergarten graduation ceremonies. We have sixth grade. You're done with sixth grade and you're now going to junior high. Graduation ceremonies. You finish eighth grade. You're going to freshman year at high school. And we have a junior high graduation. See, we just water down events. And as a psychologist, as a mental health professional, I want to help you, particularly as parents, to stop celebrating average. Stop celebrating mediocrity. Stop telling your children how proud you are for something that they're supposed to do. Let me give you an example of exactly what I mean. Every single day, I don't care where I'm driving, to my office, to my children's home, to the gym, wherever I'm driving, there's a yard sign, several yard signs, dozens of yard signs, celebrating little Joey or little Samantha, who has officially graduated kindergarten or sixth grade or eighth grade or high school. And there's a sign, and sometimes there's a picture, and sometimes there's a saying, "Congratulations, Aiden, you made it." Yeah, you made it, Aiden. Nice work. Guess how many people graduated high school in 2023? I'll save you the Google search, not a sponsor. 3.7 million high school students graduated this year. 3.7 million. And yet you celebrate your son or daughter's accomplishment like it's a big deal. Your son or daughter is one of 3.7 million who actually graduated high school. And I don't blame you for being excited and celebrating and all the bittersweet. Trust me, when my oldest son graduated high school, I literally cried for 3 weeks. And it wasn't just because of the college tuition. I was going to miss him. I was going to miss him big time. And I cried for 3 weeks. But you know what I never said to any of my kids when they graduated high school? How proud I was that they graduated high school. I don't celebrate average. I don't celebrate what everybody else is doing. I don't celebrate what is sort of culturally expected, that kids will graduate K through 12 at some point. And just to put it in perspective, if your son or daughter just graduated high school and they're 18 years old, in the 18 years that they've been alive, guess how many people have graduated high school in this country? 66.6 million. Your kid, since they are alive, is one of 66.6 million. But you put up a yard sign saying, "You did it, congratulations, what a struggle," And then you put a Facebook post up that says, I'm so proud. I'm so proud of all you've accomplished. What the hell did your kid accomplish? I'm not anti-teacher. I am an educator. But teachers are throwing out free passes right now. What did your kid accomplish by graduating high school? Nothing. They're one of 66.6 million. When you cried at their graduation because you were so proud of all they've accomplished, all their struggles, and you posted it on Facebook. Proudest mom in the world, proudest dad in the world. Jivy and Samantha graduate high school. They're one of 3.7 million. Now, in a weird way, I kind of get the high school graduation hype because it really is the end of an era. It really signifies, here's the shrink in me, it really signifies the end of our children's childhood. It really does. It's different. It's really different once they graduate high school. It's so awesome, actually. They become almost peers. It's a phenomenal experience. And I wish more parents, as the way of celebrating it, maybe had this kind of post. I'll miss you. What a joy it's been to be your parent. I've always been so happy to be your mother or your father. But when they say they're proud of all they've accomplished, the bar is incredibly low. Think about that. I'm proud of all you've accomplished. What kind of low expectation parents do we have out there? And by the way, what 18-year-old has accomplished shit? Quite frankly, right? They're like 6 years removed from learning how to tie their shoes. They've had their driver's license for a year and a half. They work at Market Basket or McDonald's. Neither of them a sponsor, and after I say this, they won't be. But what's the accomplishment? What have they done yet? What vaccine have they developed? Have they walked on the moon? What accomplishment have they done? And again, like I said, I kind of get the pomp and circumstance of the celebration of a high school graduation. And I'm not saying don't celebrate it. I want you to celebrate it. But please raise your bar of expectation of what you're so proud of. Make sure the things you're proud of is somewhat unique. And I'll highlight that later. Guess how many 8th graders graduated? Imaginary quotes around that because I don't do that crap. Guess how many 8th graders are now going to be high school freshmen next year? 3.7 million. Jimmy, I am so proud of you and all you've accomplished and can't wait for you to go to high school. It's been such a journey. No, it hasn't. Jimmy has learned how to pee standing up for about 6 years. He hasn't accomplished anything yet. He's an 8th grader. Don't set the bar so low that being finished with junior high is this monumental success. You want to know why? Because everything else in his life will be a massive disappointment. See, we aren't raising our kids to deal with adversity because we continue to tell them how proud we are for doing nothing. Everybody graduates junior high. Everybody graduates high school. 66.6 million 8th graders in the last 18 years have graduated and gone on to high school, and yet you're so proud of them. Guess how many 6th graders end up going to junior high? Guess how many 6th graders ended their elementary school experience that mom and dad and granny and grandpa are so proud of? You've made it. You did it. You overcame the struggle. Shame on you for even saying your 6th graders struggled, all of you. I'm going to talk about some people later in this podcast. They struggled. Your kid didn't struggle. Maybe one out there struggled. Some of them even had learning disabilities. Some of them were even on IEPs. But they didn't struggle. No, they didn't struggle because they had you as great parents and they had a wonderful educator who supported them. But they're not heroes and there's nothing to be proud of. Set the bar higher. Guess how many 6th graders ended their elementary school career this year? That's right, 3.9 million, or 70 million in an 18-year span, yet we are proud of them. Guess how many youngsters ended their kindergarten this year? That's right, 70 million. That means in the last 18 years, 72 million people finished kindergarten. And yet we celebrate it. We take photos and we post it. And I want you to post it. I want you to be excited about it. But don't tell your 5-year-old that you're proud that they learned how to use a crayon or that they learned how to use a pair of scissors. God. Matter of fact, just to put it in perspective, y'all know I coach basketball. A couple years ago, I was at a high school and we were walking into the lobby of the school and they had their pride sort of display. And I'm like, wow, pride display. I wonder what they're proud of. And I quote, Aiden returned his cell phone to the main office. Are you shitting me? We're going to post a high school student on our pride board that we're so proud of them because he returned a cell phone to the main office. How low are our expectations that we don't expect people to return property that isn't theirs? But that was on the pride board. And I kid you not, Joseph returned a pen that he found in the cafeteria to the main office. That's a high school. It's not a kindergartner. Joseph returned a pen to the main office because it wasn't his. And that was right there. And it even said, we're proud of you, Joseph. Way to go. Way to go, Joseph. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to rip off the wonderful studio that allows us to come to you every day with Michelle and Daniel once again producing. And then I'm going to return it next week and go, look what I found. And I hope Michelle and Daniel will go, Jeff, we are so proud of you. And I hope they'll put me right in their thumbnail on the What's Coming Up Weekly. It'll be Dr. Jeff LaCure. We're so proud of him, not because he stands up and shares his opinions and facts every week, but because he returned the remote control. God, I love it. I really do. And by the way, as long as I'm on my little rant, and I'm not even close to done yet, look, I got notes today. 3 million people graduated college this year. 3 million. 3 million. God, I'm so proud of you. You have overcome so much. Yeah. You know what you overcome? My $250,000 check that I had to write to the institution to you so you could finish your degree in philosophy. And now you want to know why you say every day at work, hey, would you like extra fries with that? Yeah, boy, those philosophy degrees, women's studies degrees, sociology degrees, man, those are wonderful degrees in our current economic climate. And I am so proud of you for getting it. I am so proud of you. And I'm going to put a sign up acknowledging that you are one of millions who just did the same thing. We got to stop celebrating mediocrity. Let me give you some statistics to put it into perspective for you. Guess how many college basketball players, male or female? God, I hate that term now. Men or women? Guess how many college basketball players go on to play professionally? Less than 2%. Now that's an accomplishment. Now that's special. If you got a son or daughter who goes on to play in the pros, high five them and post it on Facebook, not a sponsor. I'm proud of you. Because that's crazy. See, you're not one of like 66 million. You're less than 2% of the population who even goes on to play college ball. And the people who go on to play college ball, less than 2%, ever make it to the pros. See, that's an accomplishment. Guess how many men have walked on the moon? See, I'm going to help you in your Trivia Pursuit games. That's right, I went old school. No one plays board games anymore. 12. 12. If your son or daughter or mother or father ever walked on the moon, please be proud of them. Be real proud of them. Be amazed. Walked on the moon. Or walked across the stage at graduation. Let me review it. Walked on the moon. 12 people in our history ever have walked on the moon in the United States. Or your kid just walked across stage. So proud of you. Guess how many presidents we've had in this country? Young country still. God, I love this country. I'm going to put it right out there. Happy early 4th of July. Love this country. God, we got so much good. We've had 46 presidents. See, if your son, and hopefully someday your daughter, is president or has been president, please be proud. Be proud of that. See, that's an accomplishment. 46 people have led this country in our entire history. Think about that next time they walk across the stage. We have 332 million people in this country. 332. With all the people here undocumented, we probably have close to 400 million. The statistics I found weren't going to include that. So I always try to give you the truth of the facts. We really have about 400 million people here, and that's probably an underestimate. But as far as citizens, we have 332. Guess how many billionaires live in our country? 770. See, if your son or daughter is a billionaire, I want you to do three things. I want you to acknowledge, holy shit, I'm proud of you. That's crazy. Can I borrow 20? And would you give Dr. LaCure $100 million? Because you will still have $900 million left over. I got to tell you, I will do any I can be bought. I will do any podcast for $100 million. Hey, of our 332 people who are here legally, they're actually U.S. citizens. Remember, we have over 400 million people in this country. Guess how many are heart surgeons? 4,000. 4,000. Think about that. 50 states, right? Do the math. 80 heart surgeons per state. Now that's impressive. Now that's special. Now that's something to be proud of, because only 4,000 people currently in our country have done the necessary things to actually become a heart surgeon, right? Not one in 3.9 million. 4,000 people in our country are heart surgeons. Here's some more numbers just to put it in perspective. Guess what your chances are of winning the Mega Millions lottery? 1 in 300 million. If you know somebody who's hit the Mega Millions lottery, I want you to do three things. High five them, give them a huge hug, and obviously share with them your special request that you would like to donate to the Dr. Jeff LaCure. I'm going to put it out there, straight truth, no bullshit, special podcast fund. 1 in 300 million. Hey, guess how many women presidents we've had in this country? That's right, 0. When we have that first one, high five the hell out of her. I kind of hope, I sense it could be my daughter. My daughter's down in D.C. right now, and if she's ever elected president, by the way, I won't vote for her because I don't support her politics, but if she's ever elected president, oh my God, am I going to be proud, right? One. When she walks across the stage to accept being the President of the United States, and she's the first one, of course I'm going to be proud. She's in unique water, really unique water. And then I hope she hires me so I can help temper her views a little bit. Guess how many Latino presidents we've had? That's right, none. Guess how many Asian presidents we've had? That's right, none. None. See, we reward and we acknowledge mediocrity in this country. See, we used to be a meritocracy where we awarded and celebrated merit, when we celebrated spectacular, when we celebrated greatness. Now everybody's just got a sign in the yard saying, "You go, Aiden, I'm so proud of you." Guess what your chances are of being hit by lightning in this lifetime, in your lifetime? 1 in 15,000. See, if you get hit by lightning, there's 3 things I'm going to do to you. I'm going to say, holy shit, that's amazing. That's like really unique. 2, I'm going to high five you for surviving. And 3, I'm never going to stand near you again because you're unlucky. I'm not even going to. Or maybe I should hang with you because you've already been hit by lightning, and the chances of being hit by lightning twice are really slim. Boy, that's a sign I want to see. My son Aiden got hit by lightning twice and lived to talk about it. Now that's a sign. Not that he graduated with 3.7 million people. Less than 2% of all college athletes, go on to play pro ball. Less than 2%. See, in our country, we've become proud of average. We've become proud of mediocrity. We've become proud of something that everyone does. See, I have a doctorate. I have a master's and I have a bachelor's degree. And can I be just candid with you? Who cares? Who cares? There's 106,000 psychologists currently in our country. I'm one of 106. If I was one of six, shower me with praise. Shower me with accolades. I wish my mom and dad would say, we're so proud of you. But I'm one of 106,000 people. Nothing to be proud of. I love when people say, wow, that's so amazing. I'm so proud of all the great work you do. And you know what's cool? I do great work because it's part of what I do as a vocation, as a career. I don't do it so people be proud of me. I'm not even proud of me. It's what I've chosen to do. Maybe it chose me. But you know, as I'm talking about it, I think about our first responders. See, our first responders are frequently called heroes. And you know what I love what most first responders, firefighters, police, EMT, you know what they say? I'm not a hero. I love when they say that. They go, I did my job. See, firefighters are supposed to rush into the fire. That's their job. They were trained to do it. They're not heroes. Stop marginalizing them and calling them heroes. They did their job. Celebrate how well they did their job. My son, sadly, as a police officer, was a first responder on a fatal accident that killed a teenager within the last 2 weeks. First responder. Had to tell the mom and his siblings that their son and brother was not going to survive. My son's not a hero. You know what he is? He's really good at his job. He's really good at his job. See, that's what police officers do. They're first on the scene. When someone's got a gun, they're the first person there. When someone's got a gun at a school, tragically, which seems to happen every day, they're the first ones in. They don't run away. They're not heroes. They're really, really good at their job. I'm not going to lie. Am I proud that both of my sons are police officers? You better believe it. You know why? Because so many people aren't. So I try to balance that off. But they're not heroes. They're really good at what they do. You know, if you want to celebrate people for doing something unique, if you want to celebrate people doing something amazing, celebrate Rosa Parks. In 1955, when she told the people on the bus and the bus driver, screw you, buddy. I ain't sitting in the back of the bus. I'm not doing that bullshit. I'm a human being with dignity, class, and grace. And you know what? I'll set my tush down wherever I'd like to. Now see, that's something to be proud of. She stood for something. She didn't walk across the stage like a bunch of ants or other insects who got their diploma like 3.7 million people did. She said, I'm not sitting on the back of the bus. Thankfully, because of Rosa Parks and many like Rosa Parks, heroes, you could sit anywhere you want now. Thank you, Rosa. If you want to celebrate somebody and say they're amazing, maybe you celebrate Malcolm X. You know why you would celebrate Malcolm X? Because he evolved and recognized hating white people would not serve anyone any justice or good. He recognized that his message of hate and vitriol was no longer going to be good or help forward the message of grace and equality. And shortly before he died, he adopted a style and a grace and a philosophy of loving those that hate you instead of hating those that hate you. One of the things I love about Malcolm X is one of the first times he sat down with Martin Luther King Jr., and it was on televised TV. They had differing views on how to accomplish the same goal. Very differing views on how to accomplish the same goal of equality and dignity and respect. And Malcolm X, that wonderful articulate orator, says this to Martin Luther King. Well, Martin, you and I got one thing in common, that's for sure. And Martin Luther King said, what's that, Malcolm? He goes, we're both dead men. And within a year, both were assassinated. Apparently, Malcolm X assassinated by many of his own followers, and the assassination of Martin Luther King still seems to be unsolved and unsettled, but it certainly doesn't look like a lone gunman by any stretch. You know, as we're talking about or thinking about people to be proud of, Martin Luther King Jr. died at either the age of 38 or 39. Imagine the work he would have done if he had lived another 40 or 50 years. And by the way, he knew because he got death threats every day. And this was before social media. This was before the internet, right? These were messages and notes and signs. He knew he was going to die. He knew he would not live to see the culmination of his work. I can only imagine what Martin Luther King was thinking, and even Malcolm X, when they saw the riots of 2020. Because neither of them would stand for that. Neither of them would believe that that's the way. And that's why they were trailblazers. That's why they were unique, because they were willing to sacrifice their lives for a cause. They walked across the stage only to be assassinated. Let's never conflate that when somebody does something that 3.7 million people do every single year, that they're heroes or amazing, or that we should be proud. Next week, I'm going to do something on Pride Month, because there's a lot of stuff going on that's actually hurting the country instead of helping the country. There's a lot of things about Pride Month that are actually hurting our lesbian and our gay and our bisexual brothers and sisters, and that is not the intention of Pride. I'll close it with this. Parents, stop celebrating the ordinary. Stop taking a picture of your child and posting it every time they do something. Because what you're encouraging your child to do is have a grandiose sense of self-importance. And what I promise you will happen is that your child will come to see me as an adult because they don't know how to deal with adversity. Be proud of your children when they accomplish. Don't be proud of them when they do the same things everyone else does. And finally, in closing, as part of your wake-up call, recognize why you continue to acknowledge that you are proud of your kid for doing nothing. It really signifies that you have a hole in your soul that you haven't learned how to fill. And so now you ask your child to fill it for you. I want you to think long and hard and deep on that one. I am Dr. Jeff LaCure. And once again, this has been your wake-up call. I'll see you next week.